Hey Brick Maniacs, welcome back to another minifig review in the Designer Studio minifig review. We'll never come up with an official title.
Inside the Designer Studio.
Yeah, right.
Bum, 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 bum.
What
Okay, yeah, what do we got going on?
right. We got an awesome new minifigure of the month. Tell me a little bit more about this figure. I don't know much about it.
Sure. And admittedly, I didn't know a whole lot going into this one, so this was a lot of fun to do a lot of research, to find some source imagery, and just learn a lot of interesting stuff about these guys. So these are the Afghan National Army Commandos. And it was cool. This was kind of a request from Dan, and he's like, you know what? We haven't really done a minifigure. I don't think anybody's done a minifigure representing one of our closest allies during this conflict, and
overlooked for sure.
For sure, and you know, from the history there, it's you know, these guys are pretty instrumental and hardcore. So they're definitely fighting on the front lines. So one of the reasons why you'll see somebody like a Marine Raider actually wearing woodland camouflage again is because they were deployed very closely with these commandos, and that woodland camo is the national camouflage pattern of Afghanistan. Oh. So they're still using that today. And so just, special forces, somebody like a Marine Raider would want to be wearing, I guess what's least likely to get them shot at, because
right.
They blend in with who you're working with.
You're right, exactly. Not necessarily your environment, but the people around you.
You know what's more important? You're in kind of more urban settings a lot of times anyway. So camouflage, it's more so just to separate you from the local population almost.
Sure.
So that's kind of how it's functioning. So for these guys, they're wearing this woodland camouflage pattern, and it was interesting to see this assortment of gear. Like there's some desert boots, some more modern desert boots. Historically, this uniform, you'd probably see it in like black boots. So that was interesting to see that they're getting gear from different countries. Even there didn't seem to be a whole lot of standardization to everything. Sure. So it was cool to see just an assortment of stuff. This is kind of a loadout here that I felt was I guess more common, even though there isn't one loadout for these. Kind
of encompassing, though?
Yeah, trying to get a bigger overall picture of these commandos. So I have two guys here. One is with the beret, which is included with this minifigure. Yes. And then we have this head here, which we sell separately if you want to just have a variety to your minifigures. But the minifigure that we're selling is this guy right here with this beret, with this balaclava here. Balaclava, you'll see them both without a balaclava and with a balaclava. I think it's probably more common, or just as common, to see them either configuration, but balaclavas are especially good for concealing identities, right? And that's especially important in like those really high-risk areas where you don't want to be identified by the people you're fighting, because this is asymmetrical warfare. You're getting threats from every direction, and
best to stay anonymous.
Right. So sunglasses as well, further adding to that concealment, and it's obviously it's a desert environment, and you need to protect your eyes from the sun and dust and stuff. Next is the chin strap. On that face, just pretty standard chin strap. The helmet is really cool. This is a all-over printed helmet here.
Yeah, a lot going on there.
And this is a first, I think I've seen this, where we actually digitally printed this night vision strap all the way across the top. So we're not doing pad printing. This is actually digitally printing everything, and so that's a lot. Pad printing is kind of cool that it wraps around surfaces. We don't have that luxury to the same extent. So this is actually done with a few different printing passes. A few different print passes to get this look here. A little bit of color tinting. These helmets are gross and dirty and used and just battle-hardened helmets, battle-tested helmets, and you get multiple different paint jobs, repaints. They get dirty. The soldiers will paint on them and put stickers on them, and everything. They've
seen a lot.
They're cool-looking helmets, actually. And so yeah, this is one of my more favorite helmets, I think, that we've produced recently. So cool that they could get that produced. And it's in kind of a weird, not olive drab color. It's just every country has their own unique take on what like a olive green looks like, which is kind of cool. So this is their own unique. It's got a bit more blue to it. Just a detail. Next, moving down would be the I think it's called Shimog. It's like a tactical scarf. It's a scarf typical to the Middle East that helps. It gets cold at night, or it gets really windy. Again, keeping that dust out. So
even just to filter your breathing.
Yeah, you'll occasionally see them wearing that scarf. So I chose to represent that here. There's a hydration pack on the back, which you can see kind of wrapping around to that mouthpiece on the front. So I'm debuting that here in this minifigure. So a nice, cool new hydration pack.
Cool.
And then this is actually some older artwork that I made quite a while ago for an unreleased minifigure from the Mogadishu sets. But
oh, really?
Yeah, it's just the Special Forces didn't get a chance to release all of them. So maybe down the road we'll get to. But these ammo pouches are making an appearance here. And I've added an additional sort of, there's a gradient going on to represent, maybe a little bit of a highlight, even though it's fabric, maybe it's a bit brighter towards the top because the sun's coming down. So we got a bit of a gradient going on these ammo pouches on this plate carrier here. And on the side, maybe like a med kit of some sort in desert 3-color camouflage. Again, a huge mix mashup of camouflage patterns.
Cool.
Yeah. And then what's next? Elbow pads and knee pads. The elbow pads, this might be my favorite part of this figure, even though it's kind of a random part. These elbow pads, there's actually 3 different prints that are lining up here within, plus or minus a very, very small percentage. Or very, very. It's such a precise print job here on these elbow pads.
Cool.
There's nothing else that like it.
Labor of love, yeah, right.
We've never been able to get this kind of a precision detail, so it's fun to be able to, over the years, be able to dial in that accuracy even more and more, and have a team that can pull it off and make like 1,000 of them, which is nuts. Like this is so many things coming together to make this figure that it's just cool that to see it kind of come to life here. Elbow pads, just cool. They wrap around the whole arm. It's cool. Same thing with the knee pads. And that kind of finishes up this figure. Oh, the beret. This is another cool feature. This is debuting here for the first time. This is the Brickmania beret. And this is I think, in my opinion, one of the most accurate berets on the market. This is specifically representing, I think, more of like an American style of beret. In other countries, you might have either more loose-fitting styles, how they're traditionally worn. This actually has like a stiffener in the front, and then a specific crease, and then you wear the badge in a certain spot, and it's a certain height from your eyes. There's a whole bunch of ways that we would wear them, and I'm not 100% positive they're getting that directly from us, but they're wearing that in the same way that the Americans would wear it, from what we could tell with digging into it a little bit. But yeah, this is designed in-house, and printed, 3D printed in-house, and then UV
printed, yeah.
Oh, that's quite the figure.
Yeah, right. There's a lot that goes into it. I think it's cool that you talk about the teamwork that goes into it, because obviously, it starts with a design, but then in order to bring that into fruition and do all the extra bells and whistles that make a Brickmania figure what it is, it really does take a team effort. In that same breath, too, I know this isn't exactly about this minifigure specifically, but I know there have been some people asking about the minifigure of the month, questions about, if we have a lot of people who are trying to clean them out and then resell it or whatever. We've heard what a lot of people have said. We've looked into it, and kind of what we found was that, usually people buy maybe 5 to 8 figures when they buy a lot. Otherwise, it's a lot of 1, 2s, and 3s.
It's just a lot of people want these figures for their collection. It's cool. Thank you. I guess we're kind of floored by how popular these have been. So, but yeah, right. I think just people are trying to get a hold of them because they add to their collections.
I think it's just one of those situations where kind of within that first half hour after they drop there's a lot of people jumping on to try to get it, and we will still produce them all month long. That is the minifig of the month, and then obviously we're not being too strict with the whole not bringing them back after that month, but we won't bring them back necessarily for an entire month. So their initial run is their big run. After that, it's kind of for like certain occasions. So make sure to take advantage of that for the month. Remember, there was the initial Friday drop, and then there'll be drops on Mondays whenever we're able to get those batches done. So stay tuned for that. And there'll be more available. But yeah, thank you for your guys' support of the minifig of the month, and awesome work here, Landon.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. We will see you next time.